Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Alyswoof Plays. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Kingdoms and Castles. Now, this is a game that flew under my radar until a friend, Spinny, from the World of the Friendship is Magic campaign, just gave it to me one day. So, I find it simplistic but very fascinating. It's essentially like Banished, if Banished were Minecrafted, essentially. Things are still in squares like Banished, but as you can see, it's all low, I wouldn't say quality, but it's pixelated. It's all pixely. It's all super square. It's Minecrafty in that way. It's nice and simple. This is the credit screen right here. Peter Angstad and Michael Petticord created the game with the help of Jason Taylor, who did the music, and the sound effects were done by Steve Green. I'm sure they might have had one or two crossovers here and there of somebody doing something, but that's how they wanted to do it, so bada bing, bada boom. Excuse me there. So the game's pretty simple. It's just like Banished. Don't fuck shit up. So we're going to go ahead and start a new game. Since this is going to be the first playthrough, we're just going to do Sommern, which is the normal difficulty. Paxilon has no threats whatsoever. So the summers are long, you can harvest lots of food. The winters are short and mild, so you don't have to worry about anything. Sommern, it says easy. I'd consider it normal. The summers are the same, but there are raiders and dragons in comparison to Paxilon, which has no raiders and no dragons. And then there's Vintar, which is hard. That'll be the next playthrough for sure. And that one adds in that there are more raiders and dragons. Trust me, a lot more raiders. And happiness can go down, which can be a problem. And you'll just lose as they rebel against you. So we're just going to do Sommern. And then the new updates, as you saw on the homepage there, added in some infrastructure kind of stuff, which rewards you if there's a lake. So we're going to try and find a good piece of land that's got a nice sizable... I like that map. It doesn't have a lake, but that's a cool looking map. Here we go. Here's one with a lake. So the first one that's got a lake, we'll go ahead and accept. Our banner is going to be this red one here. Summerhold. How about Alice Wooflake. Wooflake. There we go. Bada boom. Wooflake. Welcome to Wooflake, everybody. And bada bing, bada boom. We're in. So, first thing you have to do is place your castle. The castle is going to be the center of your administration. It's where your city is going to have to expand from. We need a good location because we need access to these white rocks, which are harvestable stone, and these brown rocks, which are harvestable iron. I like this location up here because it gives us a little bit of both. So we will build right there. Alright. We'll move the speed up to ×2. So this is iron, available to mine. Stone, available to quarry. And the land has different types. So we've got fertile land in green for agriculture. Barren land in yellow. You cannot harvest on it. And then very fertile in the dark green. So as you can see, we have a lot of areas where we just cannot build food. So the first thing we have to do, though, is set up roads. And I like to just do it like this. That way we've got nice simple road system. We're going to chop down a bunch of trees so we can get some wood. Now, your main castle can store a certain amount of wood and a certain amount of food. And you got these little advisors that tell you what's going on.
Hmm.
We're going to mostly ignore them. Unless something pops up, just so I can take a look to see if, they're saying... They'll give you a warning about, oh, there are Viking raiders showing up. So it can store, as you can see, you can store your wood here in the front. And you can store some food. Those are bales of grain in the castle as well. So it's a good start. Houses will add 5 housing slots down here. So you can see we've got 5 people. 0 of them are idle, and there are 0 available beds. So all of these people are homeless. Sucks to be them. Explaining the game made it to where I couldn't rush out these houses like I usually do. But, you know what? That's just a problem that these people of Wooflake are going to have to deal with. So, the big issue is Viking raiders and food. I've come to find. Kind of like Banished, food is going to be a big issue. Unlike Banished, where running out of tools means you suddenly run out of food, but running out of tools also means you've run out of ways to make tools and harvest the materials for tools, which leads to a spiraling decay of society. This one is a little more simple. Essentially, food. Just food. You need food and happiness. Happiness and food. And then a way to defend everybody. So, this is something that was new, is building palisades to start yourself off with. Nice and simple, really. We're going to go ahead and do that. Now, I build very purposefully for expansion. So, one thing you'll notice is I was purposely set 3 tiles away from the water. Well, there's a reason for that. Once you get up to the larger buildings, like the churches and the manors and the hospitals, they are not 1 by 1, but they'll be like 2 by 2 or 2 by 3, some cases 2 by 4. So you want a little room to expand, and that's how I like to build things, is I like to be able to expand a little bit. So I always try to leave, try to leave a little room for expansion. So if we're going to do anything, we need to be able to expand. We also need to be able to have food, which we are going to grow over here, like so. And since we don't have too many people for harvesting food, we're going to go ahead and set up an orchard. It takes a while, and it doesn't provide as much food per tile, but there are weather effects, such as rain, which can sometimes flood your farms out and make them entirely useless for the duration of that season. So it's better to have at least a few orchards to provide food in times when things are a little wet or rough. Another thing you want to do is you want to make sure that everything is nice and close. It's not like Banished, where people will go home and sleep constantly. They will chill at home every now and then. They do have a home. They do live there. As you can see, we can find out all of the people who live in certain places. But I find that they're not as limited in regards to, they have to travel very long distances from home and they'll be screwed. So you can do pretty well to just have everything kind of sprawled out if you want. So if I wanted, I could harvest wood from way over here and I'd be okay. Which reminds me of another thing. We need to have renewable sources of wood. We're also going to need our first quarry. We'll put right there. You can build up to 2 additions onto everything. So I can build 2 iron mines on this iron node. I can build 2 quarries on this quarry node. So having one just sitting out in open space with like all 4 sides exposed is not the greatest thing in the world. Down here, for instance, this iron mine is surrounded by these unusable stones, just worthless rock. So we can't get to it at all. So you want to make sure that you're set up close enough to a place where you can actually make use of the food. Or food. I read food. Got food on my mind. Where you can make use of your resources. So yeah, that's the first episode. We got ourselves a nice little thing going on here. So I hope I'm going to try and keep these episodes closer to 10 minutes for this one. So I hope you guys are at least interested in the game. If you want, go ahead and go over to Steam or any of the other places you can buy it from. I think it's on you can get it from GOG or Humble Bundle, but Steam for sure. So head on over to Steam, get yourself a copy if it looks interesting. Otherwise, stick around.